we OG, we OG. Oh no, G. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got D or no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload, yeah. Experts on reload, yeah. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got D or no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload. Experts on reload. Mempool getting hot. Everybody wanna rock, ayy. Rooms is coming, everybody on a knot, ayy. It's a nuisance, Ordinal revolution, ayy. Ordinal revolution. Yo, it's my guy for real, bro. Got friends right now. Yo, BRC 420, bro. Yo, that shit on fire, bro. Imagine if he in here. Yeah, lock it in the seal. Murder. I got balls of steel. Nookies on the field. Yeah, this shit for real. With no calls, I get so far. Got 100 phone calls. Bet I go hard, and they gon' love me. Smoke weed, huddle back. I get shiesty. Where my Bitcoin looking lovely. All this Satoshi's nothing above me. Bitcoin's alive, what you gon' do? Mempool fees are high. Ordinal. Where does it start? Nobody knows. It's a revolution, ayy. Bitcoin is the one, no substitution, ayy. With shit seeing you go, be it's Ordinal revolution.
Welcome back to Ordinal Revolution. My name is Shizzy. On the channel, we cover the entire Bitcoin Ordinal ecosystem. What's up, guys? We have an amazing show for you guys today. We're live for the Ordinal Hour, and this one is going to be really good, guys. We have a lot of news today that you guys need to know. We're going to go over a lot of stuff that you need to be paying attention to, because some of it's good, some of it's not so good. But I think it's okay. I think this time period is actually not as terrible as we think it's going to be. I feel like what is happening right now is a lot of retail investors are scared, are selling. But if you look, guys, the big guys are buying. They're buying everything that's sold. They're buying every single day. I mean, look at Saylor. He just bought, another $2 billion worth of Bitcoin. It is getting kind of scary that they're, all these big players are buying while these little guys are selling. And I guess that's life, right? The rich get richer and the poor stay poor. But let's not be a part of that, guys. Let's be smart here, especially with the time frame that we're in. And I think that we're going to get really bullish, maybe the back end of this year, but it's going to happen, and it's going to change lives. But without further ado, let's bring my partner here, as always, Mr. Iago B. What's up, buddy?
What's up?
How you feeling, man? I know a lot of people are down. How are you feeling, though?
Yeah. Well, heading into the weekend wasn't the best, series of events, right? With the Bybit hack, and the weekend actually wasn't as bad in terms of sell-off. I feel like it was, kind of stabilized actually a bit. And then this morning, it seems like, they really wanted to take this down. And then you see on crypto Twitter, you have some people talking about how, they believe that the centralized exchanges are kind of manipulating the markets to try to force a capitulation and then short squeeze. A lot of these people that might be jumping on to short as people start selling down. I'm a little bit in that camp, but at the same time, it's hard not to just feel a little bit of the doom and gloom right now. But I'm typically a positive person, so I'm able to turn that around, and hopefully we'll do it here on the show.
Yeah, that would be nice. That would be nice too. Right now, we're sitting at 94,000. Not looking great, but not looking terrible, right? We're only $6,000 away from 100K. So we'll see about that. But a little bit of housekeeping here. So we're going to be making some changes here at Ordinal Revolution. Very small changes, but they're going to affect the show a little bit. But we want to make sure our members are all caught up. So this Wednesday at 5:30 Eastern time, we're going to have a members live video. You guys can come. We're going to basically tell you our entire plan. to all of our members and everyone who supports us. And then you guys can give us, what you got, your thoughts on it. We're getting a couple songs that we're going to be debuting during that live too. You guys can check them out and give us give us feedback on that. And we're going to show you tell you the direction we're going to go. But I think it's going to benefit everyone. I think it's going to benefit you guys, going to benefit us, and benefit the ecosystem. And that's kind of what it's all about. It's all about educating, and we want to educate more people, and we think we found the way here. So tune in Wednesday at 5:30 for all of our members. It'll be a live video. Come in, chat with us. Just let us know how you're feeling, and we'll let you know how we're feeling, and kind of and any question you guys have, please, that'll be the time, and we can answer it live for you guys. So that should be fun. But get into the show. I want to outlaw Fridays. I just want to get rid of them completely. Gone forever. So I want to let you see the last couple Fridays in a row here. So it's every single Friday. So Friday, so January 17th, Trump token, liquidity drain. Everything dropped about 35%. Friday to 24th of January, DeepSeek dump. Everything dumped because of this DeepSeek thing. NVIDIA dropped like 30%.
This is wild.
Friday, January 31st, Trump tariffs, ETH liquidations. The whole market just dumped completely. It was terrible. Friday, February 14th, Libra launch. Again, another rug pull by Solana. We all got affected. Friday, the 21st February, Bybit hack. I'm not looking forward to this Friday. It's going to be like a freaking world war or something. Like at this point, like I don't know. You know what I mean?
Dude, almost every one of those were consecutive except for that first one, right?
Yeah. Well, there was one Friday in between. So the 7th of that was the only Friday.
Oh, okay. So the first one was the 14th. Is that correct? Of January or sorry,
17th of January.
Oh, okay.
So there was 10 days or 2 weeks into that. And then, so it was just 2 Fridays out of the last 7 that the market didn't absolutely destroy itself.
Yeah, Friday definitely does not seem to be our day to start off this year. So maybe don't be in a long position on Friday, but I'm glad to see this. I don't know, the data, I try to use data, and data isn't working so far this year. It's like it works until I recognize the data pattern. And I'm like, oh, dude, like this, like definitely. And then it's like, okay, stop working now that he has recognized it. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But Friday you might want to not be in a long position on a Friday. That's something good to know.
It's been terrible. It's been absolutely terrible every single Friday, it feels like. And even the Fridays that, it was, I think I still were like red weekends. Like it was just like, I'm just so tired of the weekend. Like no
Fridays are supposed to be nice, especially for the the audience out there that works that 9 to 5 at not home and stuff like that. People look forward to Fridays, and hopefully we can get that turned back to how it used to be.
Yep. All right, let's get to the next thing here. The Lazarus Group, the primary suspect behind the $1.4 billion Bybit hack, may also be linked to recent Solana meme coin scams, including rug pulls on pump.fund. So this Lazarus Group's been very busy, and not just with the hacking stuff, but So, and this is an article I found kind of by Cointelegraph. It really kind of gets in the weeds of it. If you guys want to take a look at it, it's on Cointelegraph. Bybit hackers may be behind Solana. So it wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me at all. But they're saying they were behind Melee. They were behind a lot of it, and with the sniping and everything else. So maybe it wasn't these guys who we think they were the vape cabal and stuff. Maybe it was North Korea at this point. So
yeah, and the Lazarus Group's not a name of a group that I would imagine for like a group of North Korean crypto hackers. That's interesting. But anyways, the whole thing that you just mentioned. So we obviously know that there's deployers, right? Like the Kepler firm or whatever, Kelsler. I forgot what the name is with Hayden, right? And so they have their own part into it where they have their group of snipers. But yeah, that doesn't mean that there isn't other snipers. We know that there are, especially with the day-to-day pump fund. I mean, it's just ridiculous. You see it, like they just come up with like new ideas to just do these things. And like I mentioned before, if they make like $80 or whatever each coin, or even like $200 to $500 a coin, that's good for them, right? And they just do it over volume, right? So in terms of like also sucking a lot of liquidity out, maybe they are part of that, these sniper groups that going into these, because I wouldn't imagine that like these deployers would want these coins to fail so quickly. You know what I mean? like they at least would want them to go for like, yeah, at least I would say for a couple weeks to a month, to build up that momentum. So and maybe they're taking the liquidity quicker now because they feel like other people are taking it, So that's probably why he took the $100 million at that moment and was like, dude, like before this goes away, like our last 5 launches have been like, liquidity just gets sucked out. So we don't know, but this is good to know that, they could be a part of it.
100%, dude. These guys could be. They could have done. We've seen like there's a couple other ones that did really well, and everyone's shocked about them, and then they just dump hard. It could have been the Lazarus Group.
It doesn't make sense, right? Like it doesn't make
They got
sense
a lot of money to push
quick
these things up.
yeah, exactly. And it doesn't make a lot of sense how quick they dump because like after a while you're kind of like why are they not letting this grow higher, right? Like or at least like have some sort of like longevity, and this might be part of the puzzle of the reason why.
100%. Yeah, I was actually like really awesome to find that. It really kind of put my faith back in people again. I was like, okay, it's a hacker group doing it. It's not just like. All right, let's move. Well, I got a little bit more with this. So the recent buyback hack, 1.4 billion worth of ETH was by far the largest exploit in history of crypto. And I actually have a chart here. So the previous one was Ronin, 625 million, and then it was Poly Network. 611 million, and then Binance Token Hub 570. And this is a chart here that kind of shows this is the Bybit one. Look how much, dude, 140. And then you have a bunch of them. DMM, Bitcoin. I'm not really sure what that one was. Wormhole, FTX. All these. So it's Mt. Gox, 473. So they're all pretty close. And then you have this giant one, biggest ever, almost doubled the Ronin one. Actually, did double the Ronin one and more.
Yeah. Well, I think this also probably is data that proves that we're still in a bull market, though, because imagine if that hack happened in 2022, like it would have been like think FTX times like 2.3, right, times the effect, right? Because you can see by the numbers there, right? But the fact that we aren't at like $65,000 Bitcoin is a good sign. But like what happens from here, because this something like this could definitely put like a big break or damper on our momentum, which was already not really like a ton of momentum to begin with. It was almost just like we're stable and nothing can take us down further, even this. So I don't know what the next move is here.
Yeah, dude, you're right, 100%. And the fact that Bitcoin is sitting just below 95,000, I mean, you got to remember where we were in September. Right, we were at like 55,000. Like the fact that we're not back there, even with this giant hack that could have completely destroyed
the largest in history.
Yeah, largest in history. It just makes me still very bullish on what's to come because everyone is still holding their assets. So, all right. The Bybit withdrawals now have normalized following the exploit on Friday, while deposits back into the exchange have ramped up since then. So people are actually going back in the Bybit. Bybit have recovered from this. They did take out some loans, but they've averaged between $800 million in profit the last like 4 years, especially with the largest one being in 2021, and the least being in 2022. But over the last couple of years, they've been up only, especially since 2022. So Bybit, it seems like they're going to get through this. They might have some debt now that they're going to have to pay back, but I mean, it's not bad. You're not going to zero.
Yeah, they were able to close the gap, right? And I think from what I was seeing on crypto Twitter was that like some of these other Chinese centralized exchanges seem like they banded together to let's kind of help the situation out. Which looking back, that's pretty cool if I was in Bybit's position, right? And also pretty cool for the entire market for it to not capitulate and be completely insolvent to where they can't allow their customers to withdraw. That would have been the worst case scenario. Maybe that's why also the hit wasn't as bad as what we expected, right? So we'll see if this is kind of like a lingering thing, because if it is just loans through like Binance and other stuff like that, I'm sure that they are understanding that they're loans that aren't going to be able to be paid back like next week, right? And it's going to be like some sort of an agreement and stuff, which at the end of the day is healthy for the overall liquidity of our space, especially from a consumer's perspective, to be able to go in and out. So
yeah, 100%. And with an average of $800 million in profit each year, I mean, they could pay that back, in 4 or 5 years, right? Especially if we get a bull run. So, I mean, in 5 years, we might look back and be like, wow, Bybit's is one of the strongest, players in the game because they got hacked and kept it moving. So, but we got some good news on the docket, bro. We actually have some good news.
Yay!
Michael Strategy buys on their 20,356 Bitcoin worth 1.99 billion. So Michael Saylor last week, they put up some stock and they borrowed about $2 billion. And then they actually used it right away to buy the Bitcoin. Michael Saylor and Strategy now owns 499,096 Bitcoin worth about $47.5 billion. And then there's a tweet from Adam Back. He actually came out and said MicroStrategy only 904 Bitcoin away from 500,000 Bitcoin target. And then Adam Back is somebody who I believe is a part of Satoshi. I think Satoshi is between 3 and 6 people. The 3 people I think it's Adam Back, Hal Finney, and Nick Szabo. And so him saying this now is funny to me because back in the day when the guy, I think his name was I actually think his name was like Lazarus or something, the Bitcoin pizza guy.
Yeah.
He actually asked him to not hold too many Bitcoin because it wasn't good for the circulation of Bitcoin. But that was very early days.
Yeah. That's
right.
a difference. So,
yeah. So anyway, he came out and he said this, and basically Michael Saylor said we have a strategy to exceed this target. And then Adam Back says, I'm here for it, MSTR holders. So yeah. So 904 away from 500,000. Dude, that's basically 500,000 is about what? 4% of Bitcoin, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty nuts.
Yeah, and remember, like when he's been interviewed and he said that like when he passes from this earth that like he's taking his Bitcoin with him, right? Or he's gonna burn
his personal Bitcoin.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah,
this is his, he's gonna transfer it all to a cold storage, and then he's not gonna tell anybody, and he's gonna have them put him in a certain suit, and it's gonna go with him.
Yeah.
But that would, if you think about it though, like if he keeps adding though, let's just say that goes out of circulation eventually. It is kind of like a gift to like the Bitcoin holders at the end of the day, right? So
yeah. I mean, that's what Satoshi said. Satoshi said, like, people were saying, yeah, I lost my Bitcoin in the very early days. And he was like, you didn't lose it. You donated it to the other holders. Or, if you have other Bitcoin, then you donated it to yourself. So what happens is, I mean, with any type of deflation, there's less circulation, which means it's gone forever. It's out of circulation. So, and I think that there's between 2 and 4 million Bitcoin that is gone, especially with Satoshi's million included in that's gone forever. So, in reality, if they get to 500K, I think they're going to own between 7 and 8% of the amount of that's actually going to be circulating. So crazy to think. Pretty nuts. But let's just, but the scary thing is though, is with this hacking thing, is like, could you imagine if something like that would happen? If the Lazarus Group got a hold of Coinbase's keys, or my God.
Yeah, it would not be good. I don't even want to talk about that.
I know. Good. That's a good news. Let's stay on the good news. But all right, so something was happening this morning. Binance keeps selling huge amounts of ETH and SOL through a market maker called Wintermute. Big market makers are selling to liquidate long. So there actually is a data point on this as well. This is by Crypto Rover, one of Yagobi's favorite people to follow. No, I'm just kidding. But he says Binance keeps big market makers are selling to liquidate longs, and it's actually here. So this is all from Wintermute, and they're selling SOL, and they're selling Ethereum. So it's, I mean, a large amounts of it. I mean, market makers don't usually just sell only. So I don't know what's going on. They must got a message from, because what happens is like places like Binance will give Wintermute incentive to do this because they earn to kind of keep the markets fluctuating, right? Keep the markets kind of sitting flat a little bit. So if it goes one way, they kind of add liquidity, or if they go the other way, they take it. Yeah, they balance the buys and sells out to make sure nothing gets messed with, in the sense of people trying to do bad things to the market. So what do you think about all this, and why do you think Binance is selling so much crypto?
So this is kind of part of that whole conspiracy that they're trying to do this to capitulate, because they know that this is all on Arkham and like it's transparent, right? So people are already talking about it on crypto Twitter. And so, if they're saying, oh, this is all happening, and then the Bybit event just happened and all that stuff, right? then they're like, okay, they're just really trying to get the basically retail and maybe institutional people to maybe sell down, and then people to also jump on the short position bandwagon, right? And then short squeeze them all. Now, I think that's definitely like a thought out plan if that happens. I don't know. I don't know if that's the case. Like, could they be wanting to buy stuff cheaper as well, right? Because like if they, buy Bybit owes so much in loans, and Binance helped them out, or this network of centralized exchange owners helped them out. They kind of want to, help themselves out as well, and maybe try to get some of these assets at cheaper. So they're trying to capitulate the public this way. So there's definitely, different routes that they could be taking here, or it's simply just to liquidate the longs, and
Yeah.
I don't think that to me, I just don't think that that's the case, because there are a lot of people that are hesitant right now from a retail user perspective to take huge long positions. They're just waiting. Well, they've been waiting forever, and February definitely didn't look like the last two bull run year Februarys at all. It's actually inverse. It was red. It's been red this February, as opposed to 90% of green days in 2021 and 2017. So maybe they're thinking, okay, March, which is typically a bearish month, will be opposite because February was. I don't know. But one thing for sure is they know that this is transparent and they don't care. The one thing about Sol though is that there's going to be a tokenomics event that happens on March 1st, right? To where a lot of the locked up Sol gets released to. Is that like the initial ICO people or?
Yeah, it's a good question. I actually didn't know about that. I'll have to look into it.
March 1st. So
Yeah.
I wasn't shocked to see that Winter Meat was selling down a lot of the Sol, and that could be also kind of like an encouraging type of sell down, saying, "Hey, this is about to happen as well." But the ETH part doesn't really make sense to me.
Yeah, I don't get it. Yeah, it's actually I'll dig deeper into that. Well, maybe we'll get into tomorrow. That's how much of the Sol is actually getting taken out or released to the public. So speaking of Sol, Miles Future, he said most flows are being bridged over to Sonic are coming from Solana, according to D-Bridge Finance. It would seem that Solana degens are finding a new home elsewhere, and this is something we've both seen as well, especially on the timeline. People are actually going into Sonic, and I've been bullish on Sonic for a while. I was messing with Sonic, almost 2 months ago, maybe 3 months ago at this point, and I got into a lot of stuff, and I'm still in a couple trades still there. I kind of moved away from there as well after it went absolutely nuts. But how do you feel about Solana degens going to Sonic of all places?
Yeah, I mean, this is what basically the creator of Phantom it created Sonic, right? Like a more faster and efficient blockchain. And so I think people realize that like there's going to be opportunities with yield because he's the best at it in terms of creating like these, bull run type of mechanisms and stuff, or at least, encouraging other builders to come and build those things, right? So I'm not shocked with that. Do they I think they're going to have some unique type of yield protocols this cycle, because I don't think they try to run back the playbook from 2021. Everybody knows kind of those protocols, right? So it's going to be interesting. I think it gets more exciting as liquidity flows in, but right now I think I think it was pretty smart for you to get in there early and then kind of back out and see, because right now there's the problem is everybody's liquidity hungry, right? And so once someone comes in early, they're really cashing out anywhere between 3 to 5, maybe 10x, and then it doesn't really get that opportunity past that. Doesn't really happen too often. Yes, you'll have your one-off here and there, and then it kind of just like everybody's like, okay, like I want to take my profits right now until retail comes, and then that's when I think like Sonic's probably going to be like super robust and exciting.
Yes, yeah. So Sonic CEO is Michael Kong. Michael Kong's been with Phantom since he bought it. I think so what happened with Phantom? Phantom was put out as an ICO, and the team just like left it. Michael Kong was a big buyer in it, so he just kind of took it over. He reached out to the team, took over everything from it. Michael Kong did a great job of building Phantom. Andre was on Ethereum at the time. He built a lot of amazing DeFi projects. I think it was what's that one? YFI. was one of the biggest ones. That was it called? Is it? It was, Yearn Finance. Yeah, he was one of the earliest people to DeFi in 2017 as well. And then he was looking for another place to go. Michael Kong said, "Hey, come here, help us build on Phantom." He created a lot of the DeFi that we use today. And then he, once Phantom was kind of looked at as kind of a joke, a Halloween type of thing, they went and they're trying to get this down to a level where Ethereum is, and that's why they had Sonic, and they basically redid the whole chain and 1-to-1. So every Phantom token was 1-to-1 with the Sonic token, and they're now Sonic, and it's really looking good. I mean, he's the father of DeFi, and he's building over there. He created, the technology that Shadow uses. And he created it on Phantom. It was, I forget what it was called. It's called something with a V, or something like that. So technically he helped build Shadow, and Shadow went from 1 million to 30 million in like 2 weeks. And it has this really cool mechanism of locking. It's where if you want to get out of it, you have to like dilute half of your Shadow. So if let's just say
you earned or like half that you
period. So you have a locking period. I think it's 6 months or something like that. But if you want to get out ahead of time, let's just say it runs up like it did, you actually have to you have to sell your 100 for 50. So your staked Shadow becomes 50 regular Shadow. And people were doing that because it was up so much. But what happens is that reward goes back into the pool, and everyone who has the staked Shadows actually gets rewarded with more Shadow. So that's kind of what's happening right now. Why Shadow's going up, because people are like, I'm up 10x. I don't care about losing half, right? I want to get out. And that's kind of what you're kind of seeing right now.
That actually goes to what I was saying earlier, that like, know, they're afraid because like everybody's liquidity hungry, right?
Yeah.
And so a mechanism like that and like an ecosystem like that's going to thrive once retail is here, though. Right. And I mean,
100%.
For right now, even having that mechanism of having to give up half is good for even this current state, because at least like the people that are liquidity hungry and say, okay, like I'm getting out of, like, I'm a 10x, but I'm going to get a 5x here, that other 5x stays in, and that kind of helps this current condition right now. So.
Exactly. Yep. And it lures people to stake more, right? And that's kind of what's happening right now. And they have such a small, I mean, they're brand new protocol, and they're only like 10% of the, the supply is in circulation. So that's another reason too. But moving along for that, but it's pretty cool to see Michael Kong and Andre kind of getting what they deserve there, and that's users. So next thing here, Benjamin Cohen. He said, my view about ETH USD has been wrong in the past. Not saying it's right, but he actually has a chart here. And let me find it. Where'd you go? I think I have it down here. Sorry about that. Into the Cryptoverse. So he actually has a chart here that he put out a little while ago. And he has Ethereum dropping to about, I want to say, $1,400 to $1,100. It's a chart I sent you on Friday, if you remember correctly. But he has it actually show you. So this is the chart here, and he calls this home. He says this is kind of needs to happen for Ethereum. So this would be around July, August.
Oh my God,
September's here. So I mean, he's kind of thinking that maybe
he's basically saying well, hold on a second. Where are we right now?
Right here.
Oh, okay, yeah, we're right there. So basically, he's saying that we're not going to have a spring thrust up for Ethereum at least, but most likely alts, and that like it will eventually hit its jump up in Q4 is what it looks like from that chart.
He keeps saying Ethereum needs to go home, and this is home for Ethereum. This line right here.
Why is that home though?
Touch it. Because he's like, every cycle Ethereum always goes to a certain amount of worth of Bitcoin. Okay. And he's saying like
that's the mark right there.
This is kind of the mark where it hits like 0.002 one Ethereum to one Bitcoin, 0.2 to 1 or something like that. But Bitcoin could go higher, right? And this number might not hit, but this would suck if this is our future. But one thing about someone like Benjamin Cohen is, I mean, I am not doubting him anymore. Like he's been more right than anybody. If you would have just followed him from January 2022, he might have been wrong a few times, but it wasn't for long, right? It wasn't for long. He usually ends up being right eventually. And if this is the case, I just want Ethereum to drop to 1100 today so we can get on our little merry way, right? Because Ethereum is that alt season, right? So you might think, I don't care about Ethereum, but your bags depend on alt season. Your bags depend on Ethereum kicking off that bull run. Ethereum has always kicked off the bull run, and I don't think it's any different from what we're going to see. I just hope we don't need to go down to $1,300 Bitcoin or $1,300 Ethereum to kind of get on our merry way, but might happen.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, we got to remember too, the 2017 bull run, Ethereum was kind of the hot new, like the number 2, right? And
Yeah.
so that was inevitable that it was going to lead that one. And then 2021, it kept that, title. This time around, there's definitely it's having like competition, and so it's weird. This cycle is anything but normal, and I've said that multiple times on the show. But another thing I will say that gives me a little bit of hope, he says, not saying this has to play out, but he thinks that it would be healthy for Ethereum to play out this way, correct?
Yeah, 100%. They said,
Okay.
like he said, got to read what he said. He said, not saying this has to play out. And he's like, my view is from the past, it has been wrong. Like, but this is kind of what he sees. So
yeah,
that would suck. That would suck. So. All right. Let's jump to the next thing here. The SEC ends investigation into Robinhood. So we've seen this as another continuation. They're going one by one and just dropping investigations, dropping stuff, which is really good. Really good to see an SEC who is very, good at like not spending taxpayer money on stupid lawsuits, and it seems like it's ending here. So.
Yeah, and I think they just really need to focus on being efficient as possible of like doing their job, right? Like if they want to be like cops on the beat, then do
Yeah.
that. You know what I mean? Like go after these like, people that are actually like, stealing and stuff like that. Like Robinhood, they're an institution over here.
Yeah.
They've been following all the SEC rules and regulations on the TradFi side. The fact that they didn't have rules on the crypto side is 100% SEC's fault. Like they already worked with the SEC with other stuff, and if they couldn't get it from them, then how do you? So this is just the SEC getting rid of all these stupid, frivolous lawsuits that they had. They saved money, and now they can focus on the actual real problem, people and criminals in the space.
Yeah, and proper regulation, letting us know what's I still don't know if on my like a node monkey is a security or not. Like they still haven't came out and said that, right?
Yeah.
We don't know what NFTs are. Are they collectibles? Are they securities? Like what are they? Obviously, we know that they're collectibles. I think it should fall in the same as like an NBA card, right, or like a baseball card. But I mean, we still don't have the regulation, so I think that's going to be coming.
It's coming. Yeah, it's coming.
Another tweet from Miles Dusher. He said there's over 560 million people who hold cryptocurrency worldwide, with countries known for their crypto-friendly policy leading the way, but it only represents 6.9% of the world. So that's how early you guys are, man. Only 6.9% of the world is actually in crypto, and this is actually a chart of kind of where the biggest percentage of each country is. With UAE being the number one. Most people in UAE, about a quarter of them actually have crypto, and then all the way down to like India, which like 8% of the people have crypto. So we're still, guys, we are still really, really early. The mass adoption might not come for a few years, but I think that's okay. I think we're gonna hit a point now where it's like maybe it was a couple percent every year, but then we hit a point where we double or we go up like 3x, right? We go from 560 million to 1.5 billion or something like that. We're gonna see that, but you as somebody who holds crypto now, you got to remember they're gonna come in and buy your bags. Right, they're gonna pump your bags. We're gonna see a lot of new people entering the market the next 10 years, and potentially get up to 50%, dude. That's 45. That's like it could be absolutely insane the amount of people that actually come in. So,
well, whenever you hear that percentage, it seems really slow or small, right? But then sometimes I'll get in this state of like mindset, especially with like all the stuff with Solana that's happened with like these memes that like pump and dumps and stuff. And I'm like, man, is like the world really population gonna like adopt crypto, right? And then I think about like how much like the crypto industry has like how much it had against it from the jump. right? Like you're talking about like institutional banking industry, like the Fed, like the U.S. government, which at the time and till this day is the strongest like government in terms of like power and stuff within the government, and it beat all those things, and it's still here today. So that's what kind of makes me say, okay, I take that thought and I just throw it out and I say, okay, we're just going through like the bumps and bruises of it in like industry that is getting mass adopted, and we're figuring out what the rest of society is going to take from our industry and say, okay, this can be a part of my everyday or whatever like that. We're going through that process of like the early 2000s. I compare it all the time to the internet, phase, and I honestly feel like we're kind of going through that .com bubble bursting period, because it's like, during that time, like people made their money in stocks before that. I want to say like maybe like 2 years before that. And then like the bubble bursting time, some of them made money still, but there was a lot that like fell off, right? But then it made the space stronger. And I think we're going through that right now. We're getting stronger and there's going to be a lot of opportunity, but you got to really spend time like we do and our audience does day in and day out, really just learning about the industry and learning different sectors of the industry and stuff like that.
Yeah, 100%. To your point, I think 2021 was that .com bubble for us, right? Where everything just kind of exploded in 2022. And then we're kind of rebuilding that, right? And we got to build that trust. We got to rebuild everything. And so I'm thinking, we're potentially like the internet companies in like 2022. I mean, 2002, right? So I think but it took another 6 years for them to really start to shine.
Thrive.
I'm talking Apple, Google, right? I mean, now, and Amazon, like,
yeah.
and so many others. And I think but it might take, till 2027, 2028 for us to really hit adoption
then,
to where we're just up only.
Yeah, and then what actually happens after that, like the industry is accepted at this point, like, to where it's like all of society has accepted it. You hear about the big names like the Googles, the Amazons, all those big brand name tech companies. But then like there's a ton of other smaller companies that are worth like hundreds of millions of dollars that you don't hear about, because I'm not saying it becomes easier. You still have to have the skill set of building a business and stuff, but it's definitely like they sift out the junk from like the quality. So like these smaller, medium-sized companies, there's a good number of quality ones that actually have, employees, staff, like corporations and stuff like that. And I feel like we'll end up getting to that point. But I don't know, like you said, maybe another 3 to 6 years for that.
Yeah, but doesn't mean we can't make money now, right?
100%. Yeah, of course.
We could have an upward momentum and a downward momentum, and then an up only moment that takes us 10 years of just this bullish crypto. We're late type of feeling that everyone kind of has to come into. So we'll see. Our last thing here before we get into fear and greed and the price index here, but Binance founder CZ reveals his portfolio. 98.4 is in BNB, 1.3 is in Bitcoin, 0.17 is in Yuri, 0.03 is in USDT. So he, surprising. I thought he'd be 50-50 Bitcoin and BNB, but I don't know. Maybe he's has some Bitcoin offshore. I don't know, right? So he was super early into Bitcoin. He might have a wallet somewhere. But how do you feel about 98% BNB?
Oh, he kind of has to say that.
Does he?
I mean, well,
he doesn't work
because
there
he's
no
like,
more.
well, I mean, but everybody correlates him to, Binance, right? Like, there's been some, whispering that like he's trying to get BSC like vibrant again and stuff like that. So, I think he probably has more Bitcoin, but this is, well, I don't know. He probably has a ton of BNB then, just a lot. He could have a good amount of Bitcoin and still just have like a ton of BNB. And maybe that's the case, but yeah.
Yeah. I think it's bullshit though. I think that he has like 1,000 Bitcoin somewhere just sitting, but we'll never know. We will never know. Wow, dude. Okay, I'm looking at this. This sucks. Okay, so let's get into the Bitcoin fear and greed here. Last week was a 51. Yesterday was a 49. I'm sorry. Oh, I effed up. Yesterday was a 50. Where do you think we are today?
49.
There you go. Right on
oh
the
my
button.
God. How did I get that?
I messed up, but look at that, dude. We are just freaking boring, dude.
Yeah, but hey,
Completely,
at least it's
boring.
not like, I don't know. Maybe it would be good if it was 32. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, honestly, well, it looks like I mean, back to 95. So, but we could tonight, for tomorrow's anyway. So we'll see.
Yeah.
All right, let's kind of get into the Bitcoin price action, guys. Brought to you guys by BitPerp. BitPerp's going to be the leading leverage trading platform in the Bitcoin ecosystem. They're going to allow you to trade so much. They're going to be on a Bitcoin L2. They're going to be a part of the Bitcoin ecosystem, a huge part, because you're not going to have to leave the ecosystem anymore to kind of take leverage. You're going to be able to do it on a leverage exchange done by BitPerp. Guys, they want to be bigger than that, though. They want to be, a version of Hyperliquid, their version of it. These guys are building. They got some huge announcements to make this week. This week's finally the week. If you go to bitperp.io, you guys can already start playing with it. The competition has not started yet. So you guys can, if you want, go to bitperp.io, check them out. And again, huge announcements. We're actually going to have them on the show tomorrow. I'm hoping they can break some announcements live, but we will see. But definitely check out bitperp.io.
Yep. And before we get into the Bitcoin price action, if you guys could help us out on the YouTube side, smash that like for us, subscribe to the channel, and turn your notifications on so you know when we go live Monday through Friday. And on the X side, hit that like for us as well. And please share this space so we can educate and onboard as many people as possible. On the abstract side, guys, if you could share that stream, we would greatly appreciate it. But let's get into some Bitcoin price action. I'm going to start with the hour chart, as I always do here. Okay, so I'm really zoomed in here, as you can see. I'm using data that goes back to yesterday at 6 p.m. Central Time. Okay, so I'm just trying to see where we are from kind of these price levels from support and resistance. Right, you can see right here we're sitting at 94.5 the past hour. So we've been fluctuating between like high 93 to like high 94,000, right? Where we are here at that 94.5, you can see the resistance is still, dominating a bit, not too much, about 35 transactions on this, but then right below that, you have resistance stronger as well. It doesn't really balance out until here, this 94,400, where it's almost even. You're about 4 transactions off. Then you actually have support down here. Winning at 94.3 and 94.2. So this is definitely a good sign. We have some support here trying to stop it from going back under 94,000. So that's definitely a good sign. Let's see what we have above here, though. So if we're able to get some big buys, push through above this, 94,650 is not too bad, but we don't really see that support coming back until right here. And this is just dead even, 95.3. So we do need some of these buy orders to start outweighing the sell orders in this zone that we're in here. About 1,000, I would say about 1,800 to 1,000 above the price point that we're at right now. It's still being, tipped in the resistance favor, but it's not horrible. It's not like huge numbers of difference. So I feel okay about that. Now let's kind of zoom back out here and see. Whew, this was nasty, right? We started the day here at 7 a.m. Central Time at like that 95. Was this 96,000 right there, and then had that big dump. But we have recovered some, and like I mentioned the situation that we're in right now. It's not too bleak, guys. And we have that support underneath, so I'm feeling okay. The leading indicators on the hour chart. By the way, the hour chart can give you kind of like a forecast of like the next 6 to 10 hours, right? Typically is what people use this time frame for. On the stochastic RSI, we have been in oversold for about an hour, almost 2 hours here. So not too long, but also, I'm actually feeling okay because you can see the stochastic RSI number here at like 12, right? If we can start heading back to like 20, that's really good for the hour chart. That means that we are starting to change the momentum back, right? But if we keep dipping below, that means that that resistance is still there, and it's overpowering. But I like where we are here on the stochastics. The MACD needs to look a little bit better, in my opinion. We need this blue leading indicator line to start to really want to prop back up, and then start to see some weakening here in the MACD for the sell pressure. So all in all, honestly, for everything that we went through this morning, I feel okay. I don't feel bullish. But if things are correct in terms of like what I've seen on the Twitter timeline, that this is kind of like a setup for a short squeeze, a little bit of a bear trap, then this kind of looks like it could play out, by just kind of reversing the momentum here. So that's what I see on the hour chart. Let's take a look here on the 4-hour chart. The 4-hour chart looks like, it's kind of sitting here a little bit below the middle of the stochastic RSI for this leading indicator here. It's looks like it still kind of wants to go down. The MACD still looks a little bit like, sell momentum. But again, the shorter time frame on the hour chart can really turn this around and get things, turned around. Let's see here on the VRVP data here. Yeah, you can see this price point that we're at right now, 94.762. So we jumped up a couple hundred since I showed you guys on the hour chart here. But it does look heavier on the resistance side, which makes sense though, because this is the longer time frame, right? So the shorter time frame needs to look a little bit better before this does. So let's kind of see how the rest of today plays out. And if it does kind of reverse that momentum a bit, then this is going to start to lighten up here on the MACD, and then we'll start to turn this around. But until that happens, it could be further down the next couple days, but let's kind of see how the rest of today plays out first, because it will make a big difference.
Amen. What do you think comes first, 92 or 97?
I'm going to say 97.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that's a little bit of a risky take, but I'm going to say 97. I think that if we were going to go to 92, this morning was the perfect opportunity to get there. There was everything going for getting to 92. So,
yeah, 100%. I agree. I'm just worried when they get back to their desk at 1. I think it feels like you kind of stopped at 11, and then we'll see what happens at 1 if they want to take it down further. But let's jump into today's roll call here. First is first on this show. And today, the first is my guy, Tim Baker, AOD Art himself. Hey. Shout out to you, my friend. And let me grab this. So you, my friend, now are on your 3rd. Congratulations to you. You have 3 wins on the year. You are a legend, Tim. And I think that puts you in 3rd or 4th place. In 4th place, it looks like. Yeah. So congratulations to you, man. Growing. And he says, see, when I'm in my time zone, I win. So let's see if Tim can make a comeback here and kind of get past Danny Boy at 7 and Webdro at 8. And then you have PJNZ at 5. Yeah, so we'll see if you guys can withstand the man here. So we'll see you, Tim Baker. And then next is Mats with his goose, his curse goose at that. He says 2. Shout out to Mats, my guy, man. How many wins does Mats have? Oh, doesn't look like you have any, buddy. But I definitely I'm rooting for you, Mats. I'm rooting for you, buddy. Danny Boy says, yo, congrats, Tim. Yeah, congrats, Tim. Webdro says at Tim. ASAP Benji says, congrats, Tim. I love it. And then Glasshopper, what's up? Glasshopper, you playing tomorrow, man? We're gonna be live with Foxy's game. Definitely could use as many good players as possible. You, my friend, that was awesome last week. Webdro is here. He says sats per V-byte. Yeah, it's going up because of mask. The mask token. What do you think about the mask token?
I think it actually could do pretty decent. I hate that it is a 10 max mint, but I get why they're doing that. They want more holders.
Yeah.
Hey, it has increased the sats per V-byte, and we've always said that, right? Like BRC20 does that. I mean, like, okay, so I won't be too long with this, but for everything that is dysfunctional about BRC20, there's a lot of positives that it has brought to, and it depends on your perspective. If fees go up, is that a positive? The miners will say yes. I'm sure you will say they don't deserve it, right? But the people that complain about the mempool, though, it has increased. And I think the last thing you want is like a ghost town for the mempool, though, because it shows that there's not much activity for Bitcoin on chain, right? So that's why I think it could be looked at as a good thing.
Yeah, I see differently. I see this as it would be good in bullish times, but this is just another way to siphon money from retail. You're gonna see people inscribing this. You'll have their systems in place for super cheap, and they're gonna dump on you. They're gonna wait for the price to get up, and they're gonna keep dumping. I mean, this to me, I wouldn't touch mask with someone else's money. I think it's a mistake. Long term, maybe, but I would wait a week, and then I think you're gonna be able to get a lot cheaper than you can during this mint out. But we'll see. I could be wrong. I've been wrong in the past, but this is just not the time for BRC20.
I think if you're not greedy,
paying high
and you try to do if you try to get like a quick 3 to 5x, I think that could be pretty easy. But anything there's a fine line
Yeah.
and then as soon as you wait too long, that's whenever it's, so.
Yeah, to your point, this is a trade. This is an investment, right? This is not something to dollar cost average and hold long term, because I don't think it really does well, especially in this environment that we're in. But again, maybe in a month, maybe you'll get it super cheap, but who knows? Kai FX is GM, guys. PJNZ says new week, new high. Yeah, we actually think so. Yeah, we were saying that potentially we could get. He didn't say new high, but he said potentially could be touching 100K, right?
Yeah. I want to show one thing real quick on that.
Yeah,
Sorry.
No,
I forgot to show you guys this. So this is the 12-hour chart that I've been showing you guys. And I mean, the CPI data is really what has me hooked on the fact that, I do expect Bitcoin to cross 100K maybe here in the next week or two, is the fact that we haven't seen that like thrust up really post CPI from February 12th. I mean, every single CPI, we've seen a consistent trend up. I mean, right here, you see that first one. Right here, you see another one. Right here, another one. I'm starting to sound like what's his name, DJ.
Another one.
Yeah, another one. But like right here, another one, right? And then right here, another one.
Yeah.
I mean, I literally went back to all of them, and this to me is not sufficient of like a thrust up. You know what I mean? Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, popped up a little bit, but like I don't know. That's why I expect it to happen. But maybe data is gonna fail us. The first time in like 6 CPI data points here. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's where I'm coming from. If you guys are curious.
Yeah, and there's one thing that I didn't mention earlier that I meant to mention is NVIDIA reports earnings on Wednesday, which is significant. It's pretty significant in the sense that NVIDIA was the reason why we dumped a few weeks ago. When DeepSeek came out, NVIDIA dropped like 30% that week, and it dropped Bitcoin and everything else. Bitcoin has kind of looked like as a tech stock to a lot of traditional investors, right? So if NVIDIA can kind of catch a bid on Wednesday and kind of maybe get back what it's lost, you could see Bitcoin kind of get back what it's lost as well. So
yeah.
Webdro with the hands, and then Yasher, greetings, and then Nighthawk says, "Good morning, America." Good morning, Nighthawk, man. I hope you're doing great, my friend. Anagi is here. Shout out to Anagi, says, "Let's go." Kai FX says, "We're going to get there." Yes, sir. We're all going to make it as well, man. Webdro is here again with the fist, or I guess it's the strong arm, and then Chief Axel is here. Kai Effect, Glasshopper again, Kai Effect again. He says high volatility on weekends. Binance is the best survivor of all exchange hacks. That is true. I don't know. I think Bybit is now. I mean, takes the cakes. Hillbilly is here. He says GM from the Pennsylvania Wild. GM to you, my friend. Thank you so much for being here. Mike, myself says, when retailers miss the ship, they miss the ship. When institutions miss the ship, they pull it back. Fine by me. I like discounts. It's true.
Yep. I agree with that statement.
Yeah, man. Tim Baker says, Ordinal Revolution always working and thinking hard. Yes, sir. We got big plans in place here, Tim. Patty Poo is here. Shout out to Patty Poo, Steamy J. WebJoe thinks Solana has escape velocity. So we were actually I gotta look into it, but we were just kind of just talking earlier about potentially a new batch of Solana coming on. So we'll see. We'll take a look at that tomorrow. We'll dig deep. Pelpa says GM champs. Says, what is the Ras-clad ETH? What do you think he means by this?
I'm not sure. Maybe it's a different form of like Ethereum, like staked a different form of staked Ethereum.
Yeah.
I don't know. If you could maybe like expand on that question, Pelpa, we could definitely look into it.
100%. ASAP Benji says puppets and no monkeys are touching grass right now. 100%. Let's actually jump right into that now. Actually, yeah, we can do that real quickly. So tomorrow is a big day for the Ordinal MaxiBiz people. So Ordinal MaxiBiz is about 21 hours and 36 minutes. If you hold a Ordinal MaxiBiz right now, you will get a whitelist spot. So the total supply is 3,757. I think that takes it to a 10K supply. That finishes out the supply here. And some people are saying this is bullish. Some people are saying this is bearish. There's nothing to, no reason to hold OMBs anymore. I don't know. I mean, the art ZK I think to me, there's a lot of reasons to hold it. But what do you think first about this OMB drop tomorrow?
I think he's gonna plan it to where it mints out for sure. And even last time where it was 1 Bitcoin per orange eyes,
Yeah.
they were able to do it, I believe, right?
Yeah. I mean, it minted out, but I think the
Yeah.
team actually came in and bought up the last couple. So
Which, but still, though, that's bullish. If
yeah,
there were 1 Bitcoin each, you know what I mean? I was like, how did that happen? So I don't think he would release a collection at this time and point and not have it mint out. That would be like a failure for the brand. So I think
yeah.
that happens, and I think it eventually readjusts the floor, and then if they can catch like momentum for the overall space, then OMBs will do good here in the next couple of months. But if it stays the same, then the floor will slowly drop like everything else.
Yeah, I think that these are gonna come out at 20 about $2,000 each, and I think they drop to about 1,000. I think the main reason is because a lot of people are gonna mint these hoping to get a rare, and they're gonna before reveal, they're gonna be able to go on and kind of grab as many as they possibly can, and and then hopes of getting a rare one, and then they're gonna dump them. I can see these maybe getting close to the frogs, man. You gotta remember frogs are like $1,000. Do you think an OMB can get down to where a frog is?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think so. But this is adding more, right, to the collection. So
3,000, yeah, I think 700.
does
It
this
puts it right at
satisfy?
10K.
Okay, so it satisfies the 10K supply.
Yeah,
So no more, basically, right after
that's
this.
it.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we're gonna find what the new floor is for OMBs,
Yeah,
because like the way he did it, no other collection has done it that way, right? And I actually think that it was pretty smart because it keeps hype going and anticipation,
yeah,
speculation, all that stuff. And so having those other color eyes, you're gonna make out like a bandit once the NFT cycle comes back. You know what I mean? Like those red, green, and blue.
yeah.
Man. So we'll see.
People are taking loans out on them though. Liquidium, Robin says that Liquidium holders are the largest Bitcoin DeFi app. 387 total loan volume. 2.6 million activity locked in loans. 6.9 million yield paid to lenders. 87K total loans. So, and a lot of the loans is majority OMB, which is pretty crazy to think about. So yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Liquidium, man. Doing big things.
Yeah. Yeah. And if I don't know, they have a runes token, right? So
You do?
I have some of that. I'm excited about those stats.
So yeah, I mean, he says Liquidium token holders own the largest Bitcoin DeFi dApp. So he's saying if you own the token, you own the dApp. So which is pretty cool because
Yeah.
you have governance. But yeah, it's crazy to think about. But let's head back to answer what's name's question here about the collections, man. These are getting cheap, bro. Getting super cheap. You have the cats. Let's put it in USD value. You have the quantum cats at 17K, lowest they've been in a long time. Ordinal Maxibus has now dropped to $5,000. Holy shit. Orange
Yeah.
eyes. Bitcoin puppets at 3.9, and then no monkeys at 4.4. Wizards at 4K, Pizza Ninjas at 4.7, Frogs at $958, and let's put it back in the crypto in Bitcoin. You got the dude, they're about to enter the
Oh
0.3
yeah, I
number.
know. That's a 0.4 was what I got my first node monk. Crazy.
Wow, incredible.
February of 2024, I think it was around that time frame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Wizards are cheap, man. Ordinals are kind of the big reason why we're making some changes here at Ordinal Revolution, but they're not doing very well.
Well, I mean, NFTs aren't.
Yeah, well, nothing is, I guess you could say too, right?
Yeah. So I think that's a bit unfair to, just call out ordinals. But I think
Yeah.
because they perform so well, and we're so used to them performing well and then having their dips and then performing well again. And
Yeah.
I think that's where the kind of shock and awe is happening with us is that, like, man, we just haven't seen these like this in a while, but I'm very, very confident that ordinals are going to have an extremely great repricing eventually.
Yeah.
When that happens, I don't know. That's the $1 million question, right? So
100%. Hillbilly says, do you guys think this might be a right translate at peak? What do you think he means by this? So rightly translated cycle would lead us. I don't think it's anywhere near a peak. I do think it's a rightly translated cycle, but I think the peak's going to be potentially in like next spring. I mean, in my opinion.
Well, so the left translated cycle was what Bob Lucas was saying. It would either be left translated or super cycle, right? So is the right translated follow more of the super cycle? I'm not
That's
sure.
exactly what that is. Yeah. So
Okay.
So you have your left translated cycle, your normal cycle, and your right translated cycle, which means an expanded cycle.
Okay.
Which could
So
mean super cycle, or I mean, the way we're feeling is like another bear market. I
well,
don't know.
technically, if it is right translated, then we do have to creep into 2026, like with
Yeah.
bullish energy. And with some of this bull year post having the bull run year being suppressed, I feel like
Yeah.
it could very well, like, we could start 2026 like very bullish and then have like an extended cycle into that. And so yeah, peak,
100%.
I would still say I think the peak could be like Q4 of this year, with like another like really competitive peak to that in 2026. But who knows, if they're both close to like
Yeah.
performing, in that peak level, that would be bullish regardless which one is the peak, you know what I mean? So
100%. Real quick, Pelpa says, "LOL, low forecast for the E chart. There's only one cup of coffee so far." Yeah, shout out to you guys, man. Shout out to every single one of you guys who makes the roll call every single day. So many of you guys comment, love it, man, absolutely love it. But guys, today is officially Monday, and with Monday, every Monday around 12 p.m., we do a segment on our show called Merlin Monday. Merlin Chain was one of the first places, besides Bitcoin Layer 1, that you were able to buy runes, that you were able to buy ordinals, able to buy BRC20s in an EVM environment. They were the trend center guys. These guys, you got to remember who did it first, and it was Merlin Chain. It was Jeff, and we are lucky enough to have every single Monday to have updates from the guy himself. What other chain has their CEO or their top guy come out and actually go on shows like ours and actually give out the information right from him? And you gotta love it every Monday.
100%. Super excited, and he just got back from Consensus in Hong Kong, so I'm excited to get him up here. So let's go ahead and bring Jeff up to the stage. Hey Jeff, how are you?
Hey guys, what's up?
Not Bitcoin's price.
I mean, do you know if you buy one token this cycle and it always goes up, guess what that token would be? Always goes up. Bitcoin dominance. If you buy the index for Bitcoin dominance, it's always go up.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
no matter the price Bitcoin is, if you hold Bitcoin, it would outrun everyone.
Yeah.
Good point. That's for sure. You just got back from Consensus, the major event in Hong Kong. Could you kind of dive into that a bit? What that was like? What was the sentiment like? And maybe some things that the audience can look forward to that came out of that.
Yeah, I think lots of Chinese community builders, VCs, exchanges were there. But to be honest, there are lots of Western community builders there as well. And surprisingly, I think this time the event was very different than last year's any event. Last year people are still doing the usual thing, holding their events, branding about their protocol, talking with VCs, exchanges. This time, first, I would say the influencers have much more impact than other people. We had a private dinner with a very, very top tier exchange, 50 people, 20 founders, 20 influencers, no VC, no liquid fund. So everyone wants to get close to the influencers because influencers has much impact on the memes, trading on chain. They are close to on-chain activities. They know things that all these office VCs don't know. So I think that's one thing has been changed, which is good in my mind. Everyone is talking about memes, I guess, talking about AI. Some of them talking about AI. Listed company are not so active including us, we didn't have an event there. We want to stay low key, just joining others' event, eating other people's food, not coming from my pocket. So I think definitely lots of things have been changing. The volume on DEX, I think, is somehow higher than CX at that time. I mean, right now it's kind of low, but at that time probably higher, because you see all this volume from CEX. I would say 80% of them are arbitrage, wash trading, market makers, whatever. But on DEX, it's much better. So yeah, I think that's something we noticed, and I think people's mindset is kind of like rejection phase. People reject the bull market is gone. People still have some hope, but of course, some people are kind of disappointed. I ask like 5 to 10 of my close friends, are they going to Ethereum? A week before the consensus, they all say they're going. But surprisingly, when we talk to them, including us, I was going to Ethereum. I booked my ticket, and when we talked with them in consensus, none of them is going to Ethereum. So yeah.
I don't know if that's a good thing, because it sounded like everybody was excited before, and then now they're kind of just waiting. But that's, first of all, the first thing I want to point out is that is a major culture shift whenever these businesses and centralized exchanges and stuff are looking to influencers and not really working with these VCs and stuff like that now. So that's pretty significant of a change. The second thing I'm curious about your opinion on is, do you think that the centralized exchanges are losing power? Because you see stuff like Hyperliquid that's taking volume. Solana had a ton of volume during this whole meme coin craze that happened the past like month and a half. And it seems like they might be losing power, but I don't know, someone from your perspective that's on the inside talking to them, not insider, but like, you're constantly at these events. Do you see that? Do you see them kind of panicking and feel like they're losing power?
100% they're panicking, and 100% they kind of know the reason, but they cannot solve its problem. So for example, if you look at any listed token on Binance, on Upbit, on OKX, on Bybit, all these top tier exchanges, the chart looks like this, like almost every one of them. So that's a problem, right? And I know the retailers are complaining, this cycle, these so-called builders, they just dump everything comparing to last cycle. But if you really think through, probably not. Because if you can make your token price go higher, and with much more trading volume, eventually you'll make more money. Just consider yourself as a self-centered, money grabbing, evil person. Eventually you will make more money. But if your token goes like this, nobody makes money. Market maker doesn't make money. Exchanges doesn't make money. Retail doesn't make money. Your investor doesn't make money. Your friend, your relatives, your team members, you don't make money at all. So that's a problem, very obvious, that everybody see. And I think right now people are accepting this fact and trying to find a solution for that. So that's the first thing. Like I don't think the builders this cycle is worse than last cycle. And to be honest, I think it's actually better because everyone is doxed. There's no like Luna incidents, FTX, like less leverages. But still, like, why are we having this? I would say the worst bull cycle for everyone. Like I always say, this like the bear market of bull market. And the second thing is everybody's panicking. You can see CZ hasn't tweeted about on-chain contract before. He's tweeting now. He's promoting his own token. I won't say his own token, but he tweeted a contract address, which is weird. And then that token got listed on Binance in one day, which has never been before. That is panicking. That is how you see a man getting panicked. And that token, went down to 80, 70 million FTV. If it was Binance like 2 years ago, that token will be $7 billion. Promoted by CZ. Get listed on Binance, and clearly, so they're trying to find a way to solve this because everything they do is bad news. They listed, they continue to list memes on Binance. The price all go down. The moment you got listed, it's a time for you to dump. Everyone knows that now. So I think they're panicking. Everyone is trying to find a solution. I think we've seen some improvements. I have personally seen some improvements. People are people are always trying to find the solution for this circumstance, but I think that takes time.
Yeah.
It sounds like heavy, heavy amount of worry in the market, which usually leads the other way, right? When when everyone's leading one way, the market usually likes to take it the other way, which is pretty possible again. Right? Could happen again. But I'm curious, being as somebody who was there, like speculating and just kind of looking around, do you see a lot of cool stuff being built? Do you see a lot of maybe like dApps or anything that could be different this time around, that actually fun and exciting?
Yeah, I won't be so bullish because at early stage everything looks blurred, but there are many people building for RWA, which I think has been stated in my mind useful for many cases. I think Ethereum is doing well. I think Solve is doing great. First time to bring BTC-Fi. I think lots of RWA projects, they're trying to do like PayFi. They're integrating Web2 products into Web3. These things kind of they don't seem formal at first, but I think the way they build this, I think it's definitely positive impact on industry. I would say memes are good, but if 99% tokens we trade are memes, I don't think the industry will grow, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. And I do feel like the RWA is kind of like cracking the code for mass adoption, actually, because and it's something that like will be kind of like a slow integration, but when it happens, you'll be like, oh wow. And you look at the projects and you're like, that project has a lot of substance to it because it offers something extra than what we're used to seeing in the space right now. And going back to kind of like the the centralized exchanges trying to figure out what's wrong. I have a sense of like oversaturation and overlisting of meme coins. Is that what kind of they're pinning down as the problem?
Yeah, because they're panicking. They're afraid they lose all the retail users. But retail users just use their platform to dump tokens to to the next less recognizing this kind of environment type of audience. And like I think people right now are adjusting their standards. People are saying, oh, the listing price is too high. In my mind, this is nonsense because the listing price is not made by anyone. It's made by buy and sell, right? Demand and supply. So every token you see on exchange, the listing price is low. But the market makers set up the depth, but the users are too formal to buy this and to make this price high, and then it goes all the way down. So I think the market, the users are readjusting the valuation behind these projects. Like when I talk to some VCs, they say we should be more bullish on the protocols that have positive revenue and profits. Not on these empty, who knows what they're doing protocol. I say that's nonsense. I mean, I say BS, but like that's BS because Solve is having all these revenues and positive income. Merlin is having all these revenues and positive income throughout last year. People don't value that, right? Like if you value this, you should buy Solve at this moment. You should buy these protocols with positive incomes. Not these protocols claim they have some cutting edge technology, but have zero income. Like I would say, like Movement was $10 billion US, but they don't even have a mainnet yet, like at all.
Crazy.
And they're doing this high frequent whatever functional chain, but they don't even have a mainnet. So I think right now people don't know what they're talking about. Are still adjusting to this new valuation model, probably in the next 1 to 2 years.
That has to change though. That has to change because like when you have this high valuation model, it's pure speculation versus something that is more of a TradFi perspective of a company or a business or a blockchain that is creating positive revenue and stuff. Don't you think that's eventually going to change?
I hope so. If the market wants to evolve, like you guys compare us trading volume versus stacks all the time, but the market doesn't reflect this value at all. So I hope this changes because this
Yeah.
will drive more decent builders into the ecosystems. But if it doesn't, we probably see this kind of 4-year cycle. Like my biggest disappointment is, I joined the community. I start buying my Bitcoin, in 2012, and every 4 years you see ups and downs. And after all these years, you can say very few things changed. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of Ethereum, but I will admit Ethereum changed a lot. People started, trusting on-chain protocol, DeFi, DEX, lending protocol, and people are still using it every day. Like GMX. GMX is only like 100 million FTV right now. It's not even comparable to all these memes, but GMX is huge. It's a revolutionary model, and people are trading on them, but the valuation is crazy. You're looking at all these memes with like $1 billion, $2 billion valuation. GMX should be like $10 billion valuation.
Yeah, but like the big thing too, you have to remember, like TradFi is just buying Bitcoin now, right? They're just buying Ethereum for the first time. They haven't even like put their toe in the next level, and that's the people who are going to value, what you guys are building and revenue and stuff like that. Those people right now, it's all speculators. Like every person that's in crypto is just speculators, and we've just going further and further down the risk curve. But when TradFi kind of enters, that's when they're going to see stuff like Merlin and be like, well, why is this undervalued against something like Stacks? It's doing way more revenue, and it's pretty much the same thing. Right. So I think that's kind of when you're going to get actual real evaluations, but we could be, to your point, a year, 2 years away from that.
Yeah, like Solana, they were having huge crisis before, but they are heads down, have all these great builders, Magic Eden, Jupiter, like all these great builders, they're having a spirit, they're trying to flip Ethereum, and they somehow succeeded. I mean, not the way we want, but they somehow succeeded. So I think the great builders will endure this, time and trying to do something differently, in my mind. And also, like looking at all these move language chains, I think Sway is doing much better job than other people, according to ecosystems and users and stuff. But other, teams who claim they are, more advanced, haven't like proven their point yet. So I do think, for longer time, it definitely shows like who are actually building. But during this time is the hardest moment, of course.
Yeah. And I think it does happen. I think influencers in our space are going to become more about educating the public on stuff that has more substance and stuff as time goes on. Because as of right now, like our entire space is just basically a huge Wall Street bets, forum. Basically, it's like a bunch of GameStop investing people. That's it.
Yeah.
And that needs to change. But it's crazy. I didn't think I would ever say that on the show, but that's just how it's evolved to. But I want to get into Merlin a little bit here. You guys had today was a big event. It was the third event for the proof of stake kind of mechanism that you guys are offering. And so from my understanding is that it's 15%. Is that APR? Okay, so long-term staking. And is that stay constant 15% or does that fluctuate?
It stays at 15% unless we launch the POS like officially with different nodes. But until then, it's always 50%.
Gotcha. And it says long term. So do I lock my Merlin in for like a year, or is there like different time levels?
No, it's like it's kind of like liquid staking. So you lock in anytime you want, and you can withdraw anytime you want. Just there's like a 7-day waiting period, but it's definitely shorter than most staking protocols on public chains.
Gotcha. What's the response that you've gotten so far?
Yeah, I think the first and second stage is doing well. Today, I think after like 2 hours, 3 hours, it was like 36 million. Let me check again.
Oh wow.
Right now it's like so right now it's like 42 million. So yeah, so I think people are withdrawing their token from exchange. People don't expect a huge pump and dump in a short period of time. So why not just staking this on chain? And I think this definitely like encourages people to take their tokens out of central exchange, put them on chain, and it's like like the community needs to be more united. And if you track the data, I think before the POS, it was 210 million tokens in central exchange. Right now, it's about 130. So
oh wow,
over 80 million tokens are withdrawn from the central exchange. If that number can grow, it will help everyone. It will build confidence, and also it will attract outside people who haven't bought the token. So I'm not trying to show the token. I'm just saying, this is why we're doing this.
Makes
Yeah,
sense.
and the token has been really beaten up by, it's not, but nothing that Merlin's doing. It's just the kind of the market that it's in, right? And it's not just Merlin, obviously. It's every token. But this to me, it definitely feels like a bottom, and that's not financial advice at all. But if it just imagines putting it in at the bottom, like if this is, and then earning 15% as it goes up. I mean, to me, I absolutely love this, and the fact that like I struggle holding tokens that I can't earn yield on. So for me, this is awesome. Like, it kind of gives me a place to kind of lock it in and just forget about it, and then come back and I have 15%. Technically, maybe next year, wake up and I have 15% more tokens on top of potentially 10, 20x. Who knows, right? So
Yeah, and I can share like a fun story of my real life experience. It's not shilling, but I actually like own like a lot of BitTorrent token at that time. Do you guys know BitTorrent? Launched by Justin Sun.
BitTorrent.
Yeah, BitTorrent.
Yeah, I remember BitTorrent. Yeah.
Yeah, BitTorrent. So like I personally own like like I was a trader before. I own like a lot of BitTorrent at the time, and it goes down like like really bad in 2019. I bought like a lot of them in the bottom, and then they have this kind of single token staking, like on a live stream website. Because they bought the website using BitTorrent technology, but whatever, they have this. They had like 200% APY first, and then it goes down to 25%. I staked there for 2 years. For 2 years, because the price hasn't changed at all for 2 years. And then early 2021, you guys can check the graph. It has like like 2 times, 3 times pump in like 1 day. And so, oh, I need to withdraw them, and I withdraw them, and it asked me to wait for 14 days. I curse all the things I can imagine in my mind, and waiting for 14 days. At the time I got my tokens, it was actually 10 times higher.
Wow.
So it saved me before me dump every token on the market and miss all these alphas. So this is just like fun experience for me, because then I learn just buy the stuff you believe, hold them for longer, and if the team is still building, anytime, like one time or another, it will show the true value.
Have you guys considered it like a time lock as well? Like on top of this, maybe something else where I can earn some yield, where I'm locking in for 60 months, like 6 months, or locking in for a year, because like I like shizzy proofing my assets. So it's like kind of like what you just said, where it's like
he has no discipline.
I need to lock something in and forget about it, and then like I can't touch it anyway. I would love for something like that to eventually pop up.
Yeah, we are considering this, and also with BTC as well, because right now we have multiple products that can earn more Bitcoin. So imagine you have Bitcoin, during the Merlin sale staking a year before today, and you stake that into Merlin, stake that into Solve, all these protocols, you earn some points, you earn some tokens. Bitcoin came from 40K to 96K. Even today it's bad pricing, but it's like it saved people. Before, if you have this Bitcoin in your centralized exchange wallet, somehow you are going to lose it. So I definitely think it's a wise choice to do the staking for Bitcoin and for token, because but for Bitcoin we cannot do 15%. That would be
of course.
that would be a scam. But still having like 5 to 8% with Bitcoin APY, I think that is great, because Bitcoin is always something you will never sell.
Yep,
100%.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. All right. Are there any other updates with the Merlin side of things?
Yeah, of course. First, we are testing the fork 12. Right now we are fork 9, so it will be a direct upgrade from 9 to 12. It will be much different. The TPS will be so much higher, so we are still testing that. I think after this we can do lots of things we are imagining to do, but we cannot do so. We've seen some hype in the Bitcoin BRC20 and also like the ruins community. We are trying to do something to help that. One thing we have in mind, we actually have done the tech part of that, but we are not sure if we should launch this now. But one product we have not we, but like the ecosystem builder have done this a native app on OKX wallet. So everyone who is using OKX wallet can use Ethereum, Solana, BNB, USDT, USDC, all of these tokens to mint BRC20 or ruins.
Oh wow.
So yeah, because I think one problem before is no matter how crazy your ecosystem gets, other people don't use it. Like I've never seen a Solana user to mint inscriptions. This is crazy. This is impossible for them. But if they can use like I think right now the Musk BRC20 is like minting, right? So if you see this, people tell you this, you have some Solana in your OKS wallet, you can use that to mint inscriptions, and then you can sell that on the DEX. I think that's great. I think that's great news for for outside users. So we have that product. We are not sure when to ship this because we are waiting for if after Mask, if others inscriptions or runes are being minted as well. So then we can have a marketing plan about this. And other things, we're actively building memes, AIs around BTC Fund. I just don't think right now it's a great time to to do marketing. We actually had some campaign in early March, but we'll wait until then and to do the step-by-step instructions with you guys on the show. Lots of safety incidents happen lately, so everyone just be careful with your wallet. Make sure to dilute them into different channels. I'm just glad to say Merlin hasn't faced security issues at all, but lots of projects, the DEX on Stacks, the Bybit exchange. Today I think one of my friend projects, Infinity, got hacked for $50 million.
Oh my God.
It was crazy. We're actually trying to have a campaign with them before, but I mean they compensate everyone. It's all over. It's great. Everyone is supporting them, but I think right now people need to watch their wallets to make sure everything is safe. And we helped Bybit to monitor all these addresses. So we had their API to monitor all these addresses, make sure the hackers don't move funds into Merlin, because before the central exchange hack, we've seen many hackers depositing their Bitcoin from other exchange to Merlin, because they hacked, and we helped the institutions, we helped the police to detect who's behind that. But yeah, I think anything else in my mind? Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for today.
Yeah.
I think there are. Sorry.
Yeah, I want to ask you one last question real quick, because the BRC20 and the runes debate is back into the space, right? So, it seems like the Chinese community is really starting to get energized with the BRC20s, with this mask mint. I mean, how does this play out? You have the Western side with runes, you have the Eastern side with BRC20. Do you think they're just going to either have to figure out their own success separately or merge, or what because as a builder, from your perspective that supports both, it literally you can bridge both standards onto Merlin, how do you view this situation?
I think, like I said many times, first, I hate it when it gets so political, who likes what, when we're having BRC20 before, with ARC20, with TAP, with all kinds of meta protocols, with BRC420, with all kinds of meta protocols, people don't really care, these kind of BS problems. But right now, everyone is losing money, and I just want to say first, I think there are some builders trying to merge, trying to bridge the gap. I've noticed, Unisat and Facto, they're trying to do something as well. I think that's good news. I think there are some builders, still here trying to, bridge the gap. I think in order to make inscriptions great again, we need, a few things. I think first we need some new narratives and innovations, because to me, if one or two tokens got minted out, it doesn't change anything. Remember the pizza FOMO last year, people are thinking, oh, BRC20 is back. No, it doesn't change anything. We need some, innovations. Second is we need to get outsiders to join. It has been 2 years. So if these people don't learn Bitcoin Layer 1 wallets and, UTXO, RBF, they don't learn. If they don't learn now, they won't learn this next year.
Yeah.
Period.
I agree.
In my mind, because they don't learn when Tesla was like 1,000 times higher. Why would they learn like right now when everything is like bullshit and you need to find like you need to spend like a lot of time and trying to make your money back, not with profits but just back even. So I think we need new innovations and we need more infra to help people to trade because like I promote them all the time. Universal X, they help like lots of users because lots of users had Solana on their wallet. But when BNB chain was going crazy, nobody has BNB in their wallet. So millions of users are using that trading tool to buy BNB memes with Solana. So I think that definitely could happen and should happen in the Bitcoin ecosystems because people don't have time or patience to learn your culture, to join your account, unless you have free tickets, free booze in your place so people can have party here.
100%. And if you guys don't know what we're talking about the Mask BRC20. It started. So this one came out in like so March 9th, which is crazy, 2023. So this has been around for a long time, but it really just picked up steam, and I have no idea why. Do you know why, Jeff? Why this picked up so much steam? So like,
yeah, I think lots of Chinese influencers are sharing this because people are sick of Solana PvP, and also I think the people behind this is kind of they put effort. They're not just a scammy Twitter account. They put effort into this. They had their own narratives. They actually had a Twitter account that was registered in 2009, and at that time was tweeting about this kind of Bitcoin stuff, whatever. But so basically, the community put some effort into that. So I would say it's going to be popular somehow. But if just one token or two tokens or five tokens, I don't think it will change anything at all.
Yeah, I agree.
One last question for you, Jeff. So being somebody from the class of like 2012, right? Do you remember 2017 at all? 2017 was projected to be an amazing year for Bitcoin, but it took all the way until January 2018 to peak. Does this year kind of feel like that? Do you remember that year at all?
Yeah, I think this cycle is that like I remember that year because that's the first time I used Binance, and before they are founded, they had a drink with me and talking about how they want to find Binance, and at that time I was a CEO with thousands of employees, and I didn't care, so it was my biggest mistake to lose that chance, but anyway, yeah, but I think the cycle is different than any other cycle before because the ETF thing. People don't feel like a bear market because if you compare to other bear market before, the Bitcoin should have a first tank and then all the other coins goes down. But right now is all the other altcoins are going down, but Bitcoin is even Bitcoin to 80K. I would still say it's high because before it was always going down for like 40%, 50%, right? But right now it's like 10%. That's all. So I think it's very different. I don't think it ends right now. Because like personally, I don't think it ends right now because like I said, people are readjusting everything they've learned in the cycle in the first half. And all the builders I met in consensus in Singapore, they are trying to figure how to do this, how to be successful in the second half, how to solve the problems on CX, how to solve the problems on DX. Because you can see all these cabals just drains the liquidity from people and make more money. I've seen many cabals, like I follow many cabals Instagram. Their Instagram is always about new Ferrari and new watch, new bag. So like this is bad bad signal, right? So I think everyone else is trying to figure out how to solve this problem, save this market. So I don't feel like it's end of a cycle, but it's definitely end of a first half because the first half has changed lots of things. People are frightened because we have never seen this before.
Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree with that. We're not done. I think it could be that right translated kind of that super cycle that goes into 2026. Because if it was done and we were in a bear market, then the Bybit hack would have tanked Bitcoin to like 60K right now. And it just we're still at 94 or 95, wherever we are today. So we still have the rest of this year. But I agree. We got to learn and adapt because this is things have changed. We'll just say that, things have changed. But Jeff, it's been amazing having you on. Thank you so much for spending time with us. We know it's late over there where you are, and so we look forward to having you back on next week.
Yeah, cool. And let's see how many Merle was staked next Monday.
Let's do it.
I'm excited. Let's see it.
All right. Talk
Bye.
to you later. Bye.
Absolutely amazing as always. It's so great to talk to Jeff, man, because he's somebody who's been around for a really long time. I mean, class of 2012, right? Like, how many people do we get to talk to who bought Bitcoin in 2012, right? And then he has the knowledge of being around 2017, being around in 2021, and now here today. So it's really awesome to kind of see his perspective and his point of view on a lot of these things, and really excited for where Merle goes next, especially with his new staking. Guys, check that out. Go to their X account, read the documents. I'm sure they have a lot of stuff for you guys to take a look at. And if you have Merle, I think it's stupid not to participate. Because all you're doing is locking into a smart contract. You're not actually giving them your Merle or anything like that. So definitely check out everything there at merlinchain.io.
Yeah, for sure. I wasn't that early, but I was a class of 2013, but I also didn't have a multi-million-dollar business and 1,000 employees in 2017. And so that also, though, is just a great perspective to get from someone that has built a $1 million successful business and sold it for a good amount. And to me, I think like that's the type of mentality you have to have navigating in a new industry and trying to figure out how to get this, Merlin chain to become successful and stuff like that. Right. So awesome. Awesome. And you're never going to find that type of perspective. And that's, other than Ordinal Revolution, because that's what we do. We try to bring the builders to you guys. And so I just wanted to also remind them of that.
100%. I just have one final thing. I want to go over this real quickly. So fluid tokens on Bitcoin. Guys, 41 million tokens have been staked. 0.04 of the supply. Woo! Absolutely amazing. They're 40% of their goal. I think this goal was set as just a maybe. I doubt it, but we'll try goal. But I mean, still, I think they're very satisfied with the amount that got staked, guys. But you still have 2 days, 6 hours, and 23 minutes and 50 seconds. This unlocks on May 26th. That is during Bitcoin at Las Vegas. So everyone will be unlocking their dog at that time. Could be a 4, 5, 6x from that point. We will see, especially at these cheap prices today. So if you do have dog and you're planning on keeping it into May, it's stupid not to stake it. This is non-custodian again. They do not control your dog. They're actually just time locking your Bitcoin because, just time locking that into your UTXO into one of your wallets. And that wallet is something in your account. So you just you can probably find it if you're a whiz. And then all you got to do is come back when it's time. You go to your stake. And you'll see that I have 400,000 dogs staked here. And then I got to wait 91 days. But then when that time comes, I'm going to come here. I'm going to click it. Boom. And then also I have my fluid passes as well. I have 20 of these. And in 55 days, I'll be able to unstake these. So looking forward to my unstakes, but very happy that I'm gaining rewards for holding stuff that I would already be holding. So guys, go check out fluidtokens.com. Lock your dog up today if you plan to hold it that long. Shizzy proof it, I call it.
Yeah, so congratulations to Raul, the CTO over at Fluid Tokens and his team. That's definitely a good milestone to hit, and they still got 2 days, so that's going to be a higher number, I imagine.
50,
yeah, exactly. But Bitcoin is reached back over 95,000 barely, but it does seem like it's starting to have an uptrend here. So let's see if maybe that short squeeze reality that short squeeze situation can become a reality. That would be amazing, I think, for everybody if we could squeeze out the shorts here. But we just want to thank you guys for supporting us. For Superfan GM has arrived as well, and all of our community. That was funny. I was reading that through the thing. Imagine having like one of those like Cuban link like chains that is like. Yeah, that would be crazy.
That's Merlin on it.
Yeah.
That'd be so cool.
Yep.
Anything
else? Or did we knock everything out?
It's pretty much a show. We did have the title. If you
well, I mean, we kind of talked about that. I feel like it's more of the CPI data and the short squeeze kind of getting together. So Yeah, I
100%.
mean, honestly, guys, we are just so thankful for you guys. I really, we really want you guys to realize that. And like Shizzy said, Wednesday, 5:30 Eastern, we're gonna do a live members stream, just to kind of update you guys on some of the plans we have here in the near future, and get some Q&A going and all that stuff as well. But if you guys do have some extra time, we would greatly appreciate if you could check out our partners here. Emblem Vault is the interoperability tool for Bitcoin Layer 1 assets, more specifically starting off with ordinals. You're going to be able to jump your puppets, your node monkeys, your quantum cats, your own beasts to different environments like abstract chain, like Merlin, Bitcoin Layer 2. There's a big dApp coming to Merlin as well that's going to be integrating using something like this. So it's going to be exciting, guys. Also, they have their AI Bitcoin wallet that you're going to be able to prompt to do the vaulting for you, to do the jumping, as well as making just Bitcoin transactions. So look out for that with their agent hustle. Lastly, they have their founder vault keys, which are going to be runes. And there's a TGE September 17th, I think the week of that, or that week. And before then, you can actually trade these kind of like a pre-sale. Their ERC 721s on OpenSea, and then during that week in September, they will open up and you can get the runes in your Bitcoin wallet. So they trade on the secondary market right now in that kind of pre-sale form of the ERC 721. You can check it out at OpenSea and look for Emblem Vault founder keys. You can learn more at emblem.vision. And then BetBTC is the predictions marketplace for the Bitcoin ecosystem. All you need is an X1st wallet, some Bitcoin, and it takes 6 blocks, and you can start placing bets right away. They have a big announcement this week. You're going to be able to, I'm not saying this is the announcement, but eventually you're going to be able to create your own markets and earn 1.5% of the total volume there. But they also have 24-hour markets as well, guys. So if you don't want to wait for a market to end, they're going to have really awesome, like quick, short markets that you can get into if you want more action there. They also have a point system as well. So if you go on there and start making small, you can make tiny micro bets or whatever, you'll earn points just for signing up, and they will have a future rune as well. So you can learn more at betbtc.win. And then BitPerp is the leverage DEX of the Bitcoin ecosystem. They will be launching on a Bitcoin Layer 2 very soon. You're going to be able to trade synthetic versions of Bitcoin Layer 1 fungible tokens like Dog Go to the Moon, Ordi, possibly Masks that we talked about if it becomes popular enough. Also, you're going to be able to trade tokens outside of the Bitcoin ecosystem like Trump, like Brett, like different hot tokens that have that, volatility to where it's exciting. But don't forget about their paper trading competition. That's going to be announced very soon. I think it's probably today, but you can learn more at bitperp.io. And then Fluid tokens, we just talked about these guys. Congrats to Raul and his team for the Dog Go to the Moon staking vault season 2. You have 2 days left, guys, to go ahead and put your dog in there to earn the rewards there. If you are a founder of an Ordinal collection or you etched a rune with an established community, you can reach out to Raul to get a staking vault set up for you and your community. This is all Bitcoin Layer 1, native to Bitcoin, and it is non-custodial because they actually put it in one of many Bitcoin addresses that's locked up until a future block. So learn more at fluidtokens.com, and you can click on the Bitcoin side there. And Merlin Chain, your #1 scaling solution for Bitcoin native L1 assets and protocols. If you're a builder on Bitcoin Layer 1 and you want your protocol to be a bit more flexible, seamless, quick, you can reach out to their team and apply for the Merlin Chain Builders Grants. A couple of our partners got into that program, so it's not impossible. If you are a retail user and you want to swap for Dog Go to the Moon, you can do so on merlinswap.org. Learn more about Merlin Chain at merlinchain.io. And don't forget about our integrated partners in Foxy, building the metaverse on Bitcoin called the Bitverse, and their first-person shooter game, which we're going to be streaming live tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern. We expect our Ordinal Revolution clan members to join that because we want to win tomorrow for sure. But we'll be live streaming at 3 p.m. Eastern. Everybody's invited to play. So as long as you have a Bitcoin wallet, you can select your clan and join us, and we can start playing together as we stream it. And Ordinal Hive is the aggregator Ordinal marketplace for Bitcoin Layer 1 and Layer 2. The cheapest Ordinals around you will be able to find on Ordinal Hive. Don't forget about their trader tools as well, like live mempool insights, where you can snag a fat-fingered node monk or puppet. But we thank you guys so much for checking out our partners.
Yeah, 100%. And guys, that's gonna be fun tomorrow. So I'm purposely not gonna join the Order Revolution clan, so you guys can join that and then attack Shizzy. So that should be fun. But if you guys do beat Aaron, they have $150 bounty on. You got to get more kills. Oh, Aaron's not playing tomorrow, is he?
Not
Probably
tomorrow.
not. Okay.
Not tomorrow.
So that'll be the following week. Okay. So that'll be the following week when Aaron's back. But that's gonna be fun. That's gonna be exciting. Join us tomorrow, guys. Please. I really hope a lot of you guys. The Foxy team will not be able to join us. So I hope a lot of you guys come in and just kind of hang out, get some frustration out, and play some shooter games. Should be fun. Should be exciting. And real quick, I want to hit on a couple people that came in a little late. My guy Sammy Turnpike right down the street.
Hey.
Shout out to Sammy. He said, "Hey Shizzy and Mr. Yagobi, miss you guys. A bit of down for some time. Back strong now. Hell yeah, I'm glad you're back, Sammy." And then we got someone hitting us up with a meow 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 and another meow. So meow back to you, my friend. Thank you for being here today, Claudia. You man, it's a pleasure for you to always be here with us. Kenta as well, holding bells to 0. Yes, holding bells to 0 or to 1 million. We'll see if 1 bells equals 1 million one day. Superfan, GM. Shout out to Superfan. I can't wait to see more of what you're doing with Big Noodle as well. Looking forward to your updates, my friend. Please, Superfan, hit us up if you have any updates. We would love to talk about them. Sammy says, "Thank you, Shizzy Gobi. Love you guys." We love you too, Sammy. I appreciate, man, you being a part of our community for sure. But guys, if you don't mind checking out ordinalrevolution.com, it really helps us. The more clicks we get there, the better we do. So definitely check out ordinalrevolution.com. We have some of the best articles dating all the way back to last year. If you know someone just entering the space, please send them our website. We really feel like it can help them get started and caught up to where we are today. If you guys need a VPN, we have the #1 VPN, Nord. Every single person should have VPN. You not want to go to these sites with your IP hanging out. I don't want to see that. You don't want to do that. Not a thing you should be doing. If you do not use Nord, use another one. There's free ones out there, but Nord is the absolute best. It's one me and Yago both use. Definitely check out our thing here. I think it's 70% off. It's $3 a month. Stupid not to pay for that. But if you guys are going to Bitcoin 2025 Las Vegas, we also have tickets for that there. They are getting very expensive, guys. If you plan on going, get them as soon as possible. Use our link here. You guys can pay with Bitcoin and actually get it cheaper as well. So if you want to do that, please use our link, ordinalrevolution.com, right at the top here. Click on it. And if you need merch for that event or any event, we have some of the best merch in all of crypto, not just Ordinals. Check everything out. We're going to be adding some new stuff here as well. We're going to be adding some crypto stuff. We're going to be adding maybe a towel shirt, maybe, I don't know. Just let us know, especially inside of the members only video on Wednesday at 5:30. Let us know if you want us to add any merch. If there's something you're interested in buying or whatever, let us know. We will add that right away for you guys. So just let us know. But we appreciate you guys, and we are live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Monday to Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific, and 4 p.m. UTC. Check us out all week, guys. Until tomorrow.
Peace.
We OG. Oh no, G. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got D or no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to Olo, yeah. Experts on reload, yeah. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got D or no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to Olo. Experts on reload. Man, pool getting hot. Everybody wanna rock, ayy. Rooms is coming, everybody on a knot, ayy. It's a nuisance, Ordinal revolution, ayy. Ordinal revolution. Yo, it's my guy for real, bro. Got French right now. Yo, BRC 420, bro. Yo, that shit on fire, bro. Imagine if he in here. Yeah, lock it in the seal. Murder. I got balls of steel. Nookies on the field. Yeah, this shit for real. With no calls, I get so far. Got 100 phone calls that I go hard, and they gon' love me. Smoke weed, huddle back. I get shiesty. Where my Bitcoin looking lovely. All this Satoshi's nothing above me.